Welcome to the best of high school sports in Northern California. We are the Bee Prep Show.
And we're coming to you from the cozy confines of the Sacramento Bee in our photo studios upstairs.
Welcome back for another edition of the Bee Prep Show. I'm Mike Finnerty, joined as always by Joe Davidson of the Sacramento Bee in our home, away from home, so to speak, here in downtown Sacramento. Joe, a packed show. We've got plenty of spring highlights. Baseball, softball, boys lacrosse. We got features with a terrific boys volleyball coach, an outstanding athlete on the girls' side. She plays basketball and softball, but we got more.
Oh, we got all kinds of stuff. You did a nice job of keeping your composure there. I thought you were going to veer off left, and fortunately we're not live. And no, and spring is here. It's great stuff. But always news and notes of what's going on in the region, and we talk about the impact of a coaching icon who's from the Central Valley who passed away, and some strong things that I learned from him, and some messages. And he played some NFL games decades ago, exhibition games at Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College, and was also part of an iconic night in NFL history. So some stuff that we'll delve into a little bit later, and it gets good now. About a month from now, Mike, we are talking playoffs galore, so we're going down the tracks for spring sports.
Yeah, we can't wait. By the way, welcome back from your little excursion down to San Luis Obispo. Always good to get away and hit the beach, and you don't look much more tan than you did before.
No, it's hard to juggle sand and a cold beverage and all those kind of things, and do I want to go with flip-flops or sandals and all those kind of things. But no, it's always nice to get away, and it's interesting where work is always percolating, and we're brainstorming, we're talking about, hey, what's coming up, what's going on, and we're just amazed that the academic year is really at the gun lap. We only have just a few weeks left to go. Yeah,
we can't wait for playoff time. All right, Joe, we've got highlights. We're going to start it off with baseball. The area's #1 ranked team, the Oak Ridge Trojans. They're taking on the Pleasant Grove Eagles.
We lead off our highlights from Oak Ridge High School in El Dorado Hills, where the B #1 ranked Oak Ridge Trojans were taking on the Pleasant Grove Eagles. Trojans looking to stay unbeaten against area teams, and right away they got the bats going. Bottom of the first, Logan Denholm with the base hit to left. That'll bring home Bo Phillips, and just like that, it's 1-0 Trojans. Second inning, and a nice defensive play here by Craig Holloway in left. He fields it, comes up throwing, and guns down the runner at home to keep Pleasant Grove off the board, and Holloway getting some love from his teammates. Home half of the second inning, more Oak Ridge offense. Eric McNeil, he singles. That's going to bring home Jake Hathaway from third, and it's a 2-0 game. Still batting, bases loaded. Chris Rapolo with the rip to the corner and left, and that's going to clear the bases, bringing home 3 runs to up the lead to 5-0 as Rapolo, he's going to finish with the triple. Not done yet. Tyson Solis sends it back up the middle, brings home Rapolo for a 5-run inning and a 6-0 Oak Ridge lead after 2 complete. Trojan starter Nolan Bagini, he pitched well in this one, keeping Pleasant Grove off the board through 4. Oak Ridge would add a run in the 4th, another in the 5th to go up 8-2 through 5. Then with Luke Johnson on the hill in the 7th, Johnson gets the game's final out with a throw to first as Oak Ridge takes it 8-4 to improve to 19-2 on the season. Another win for head coach Todd Melton, and a terrific game for Rapolo, who went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs, and we caught up with both after the game.
We got a spot start out of Nolan Bogini, and he came in here, pitched his tail off for us. Got some good hitting like we've had, with our series against Delora, rode that momentum in here today. So yeah, just once again, a top-to-bottom effort, defense, pitching, hitting, and that's kind of been the name of the game for us this year.
We set this game up a long time ago. We had a really short non-league, only 4 games before league, and Pleasant Grove's a great program, and so this was really good for us, and our kids are just playing really well right now. So it was a good Saturday, 4-0 week, always good.
Baseball looking the part as the Sac Joaquin section's #1 ranked team. Todd Melton's been there a long time. He really likes this team. They're in the Sierra Foothill League, doing very well, running away with it. Pitching, defense, offense, leadership, good charisma. This is a complete team. You texted me and said this is the real deal.
Yeah, they are the real deal. Elk Grove head coach Jeff Carlson had a chance to catch up with him. He said, yeah, he's really impressed by Oak Ridge. I caught up with them, got interviews with all the guys. That feature on the team will run the following week, so we'll kind of introduce you to the team, what makes them so good. They're all about camaraderie, and Joe, they really have no weaknesses, so they're rolling right along. Another team rolling right along, by the way, is the El Camino Eagles, winners of 6 of their last 7, Joe. A Capo League talent. And we've got your highlights as they take on Rio Americano in Game 3 of their series.
We take out to Rio Americano High School for the rubber match between the host Raiders and the El Camino Eagles. El Camino came in tied for first place with Christian Brothers, with Rio a game back. Top of the first, El Camino at it right away with Cody Gregory getting a base hit to center. It brings home Colton Burns for the game's first run, and the Eagles would add another to make it 2-0. But not done yet. This pass ball by Rio allows Gregory come home, and after 1 inning of play, El Camino leads 3-0. Eagles starter Bennett Nichols looked good through the first 3 innings, but the Raiders would finally get on the board in the home half of the 4th with this Josh Savea rip to left. That scores a run to make it 3-1. As Savea, he's going to finish with the triple. Moments later, Savea would score on a balk as Rio cuts it to 3-2 after 4. In the 5th, El Camino strikes again with this Jacob Grace single to center. Here comes Danny Rogers, and it's now 4-2 El Camino. Looking for more. That guy Gregory again, he delivers with another hit. Coming home is Burns, and then Grace, he's safe at home. That makes it 6-2 El Camino. Rio adds another run in the 6th, but El Camino answers with a run in the 7th to make it 7-3. And then looking to close it out on the hill is Nichols, as he does just that. A complete game for Nichols as El Camino prevails 7-3, putting Rio back 2 games of first, while El Camino continues the momentum.
Everybody plays for the team. Last year we didn't do that. Everybody's new person with a big hit, big play. It's great. Not like last year. Last year we did not pick each other up, and now we're doing that this year.
Last year we went over 3 last year, 10-run run every time. This year it feels good to get the W, and we got it again today.
We knew coming off a win last night at our place, they were going to come back fired up, so we knew we had to put it on them early, and we got 3 in the first, which was big, and then we just carried it out the rest of the way. Guys did a great job.
These are rivals for decades, old school powers. They still do such a great job, but athletically, academically, there's a lot of pride there. There's a Rio Americano player that you're going to catch up to in a couple of weeks, but you're very impressed with his leadership and his charisma. Tell me.
Yeah, I had a chance to, as you know, I'm in the dugout shooting these games. Josh Savea of Rio Americano, what a leader he is. Boy, just having the chance to be in the dugout like I am, and you hear these guys communicate, converse. He is definitely a leader on that team. He seemed like a father figure type. He was going around talking to guys, calming them down. Really impressed. I'm going to catch up with him here in a couple weeks. We'll introduce you to him. He is an Oregon signee, quite the talent, but more on Josh Savea in a couple weeks. You're going to like him.
And you know, it's sometimes the maturity of these high school athletes just blow us away. Whether it's Justice Shelton Mosley of Capital Christian, the things they say, you're thinking, he's 17 or 18 years old, so you might be seeing a leader now who really becomes a leader later on in life. Maybe they become a high school administrator or something even more, or a coach or something. But it's neat to see. A lot of times high school kids they're quiet and they're withdrawn, but in a baseball dugout, when a voice is loud and powerful, that resonates.
Yeah, he was impressive. All right, Joe, we've got more highlights. Softball time. Roseville taking on Antelope. A big showdown.
2 B-ranked teams looking up in the Capital Valley Conference standings. The number 12 Roseville Tigers on the road to take on the number 13 Antelope Titans. Both teams needing a win to have a shot at a playoff spot. Roseville looking to jump on top of Antelope early, 2-on when Tony Whipke singles up the middle. That'll bring home 2 runs, putting Roseville up 2-0. Still batting, Naomi Monahan pops this one up. But an alert Ray Martinez for Roseville tags up and scores, and it's now 3-0 Tigers, and they would add another run on another sac fly. In comes Samantha Garcia, and after 1 inning of play, Roseville 4, Antelope 0. 3rd inning, Roseville gets another run on this Naomi Monahan single to left. Garcia's going to score, and it's now a 5-0 game. We're going to skip ahead to the 5th inning. Antelope batting down 6-2, bases loaded when Keone Hunter crushes this ball to deep center. That's a grand slam. Hunter comes through in the clutch, and we've got a tie ball game now at 6-all. Top of the 7th, Roseville up 1-on when Monahan breaks the tie with a 2-run homer, a huge hit for the Tigers, and they get some of that momentum back now thanks to the big blast. And now the Tigers are back on top in this one, up by 2 at 8-6. Short time later, Katie Edgar falls with a grounder to 3rd. They can't make the play. Another run is going to score, and it's 9-6 Tigers. Antelope didn't go away, though. Hunter with an RBI base hit cuts it to 9-7 before later scoring herself on a pass ball to get to within one at 9-8. But Roseville closes it out. They get it out here with a fly ball, and that would do it as Roseville hangs on for the 9-8 win. A big day at the plate for Roseville's shortstop Allison Manzo, who was 4 for 4 at the plate with a pair of doubles, and of course Monahan with a 2-run homer to put them up for good.
It's pretty important. We were tied with them, and I think 5th place, so it's really good to beat them and move up in league.
Oh, I definitely feel like we can get this done. Like, we worked so hard during practice, and I definitely feel like we could come out and win every single game from here on out.
To Vista Del Lago High School in Folsom, it's the Christian Brothers Falcons making the drive up Highway 50 to square off against the Eagles. Vista a game back of first place Casa Roble. Christian Brothers a game back of Vista. To the action we go, opening inning, and it's Vista Del Lago's Kirsten Cox with a blooper to right. That'll fall in there. It's going to bring home Cherie Sylvan, and it's 1-0 Eagles. Third inning now, a double steal by Vista. That'll bring home Sylvan, and it's a 2-0 lead. Christian Brothers would find some offense in the 4th with a solo homer, cutting the Vista advantage to 2-1. But a big 5th inning for the Falcons started with this Kirsten Gruber rip to the gap. That'll bring home Amanda Ledesma, and we're all tied at 2 apiece. Still batting, it's Kira McKechnie. She's going to single to left. Scoring from third is Gruber, and it's Christian Brothers grabbing the lead for the first time in this game at 3-2. However, Vista Del Lago would put this game away in the 6th. A bases-loaded single for Emily Moran plates 2, putting the Eagles back on top at 4-3. Next up was Emily Jones with a high chopper to third. Falcons can't make a play on it. Another run will score, and it's a 5-3 lead for the Eagles. One more time for Vista. Sylvan, she's going to go the other way with this one. Scoring on the hit is Moran. It makes it a 6-3 game. And Sylvan, she's going to finish at second with the RBI double. And that would do it as Vista Del Lago wins it by a final of 6-3 and finishes out the week tied with Casa Roble for first place in the CBC. We'll wrap up our highlights with boys lacrosse, a big-time match in the Sacramento Valley League where the 3-0 Oak Ridge Trojans played host to the 2-0 Jesuit Marauders, and this was a good one. An action-packed first period where Jesuit outscored Oak Ridge 3-2, and the Marauders would hold a 1-goal advantage at 5-4 as this game moved to halftime. Third period, it's Jesuits' Brandon Albert putting the Marauders up 6-4. But Oak Ridge would rally and grab its first lead of the match right here when Chris Vasquez finds Austin Hunter for the score. Trojans up 9-8 with 8:25 left to play. With just under 4 minutes left in this one now, Jesuit by 1 when Sam Wellman scores in close to tie it at 9-all, and that would be your score after regulation. After no goals in the first sudden death overtime period, Jesuit junior Cameron Clark, he blasts this shot from way out there, and that ends it as Jesuit takes it in a thriller 10-9 and now sits atop the league standings at 3-0 with Granite Bay.
Later on, we're going to introduce you to Kira McKechnie of Christian Brothers Softball. Great spirit, great energy, great family of athletics. This is a girl who maximizes everything she's got.
Yeah, and we also will catch up with Granite Bay boys volleyball coach Bruce Honberger. He's an Oakmont alum. Loved the game back in the 80s when he was there. He's brought it to Granite Bay, and they won 4 of 6 championships. We'll talk to him more about the program. We've got plenty more. Stick around.
This is your RAM Auto Update.
Just in, the classic term used car is old-fashioned, outdated, and no longer of any particular relevance. Let's party. The Roseville Auto Mall is throwing a massive factory-certified pre-owned sales event. That means incredible savings on just about every kind of car in the world. All factory certified. It's happening now. It's going fast. In layman terms, skedaddle. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
In 1952, we opened our first market in the Central Valley. 63 harvests have come and gone since then, but we're still here. Because here, roots matter, and not just the ones pulled from the ground, but the ones that keep us grounded, the ones that make sure we'll always stay that hardworking family that started a market for other hardworking families. Save Mart. Roots matter.
We want to thank our title sponsors, Save Mart Supermarkets. Shop Save Mart up and down the Central Valley.
Welcome back to the very best of high school sports in Northern California. We are the B Prep Show. We're coming to you from the Sacramento Bee, our nice little studios up here on the 3rd floor.
I painted this, you know.
Keep your fingers off. That's prized material
Prized
there.
property.
And we love to break down the teams and the coaches and the themes that make high school sports in this region so good. And sometimes we like to recognize and honor athletes and coaches from yesteryear too.
Yeah, and 2 coaches from yesteryear passed away recently. Mr. Eddie LeBaron, a local connection out of Stockton, and you got his story.
It's from Oakdale High School in the early 1940s, used to drop kick field goals, and certainly was best known for his quarterback days at University of Pacific. I think the strongest thing I took out of Eddie is years ago he grabbed me by the arm and he said, hey, the athletes that you talk to in college and high school, remind them it's not the size of their body that makes a difference. It's their size of their heart. Good stuff with him. And then Ron Clark, the longtime softball coach for Fairfield High School, the 2nd winningest softball coach in state history, the #1 winningest coach in Sac Joaquin section softball history. He has passed away, 72 years old, and a beloved figure in the Sac Joaquin section, is a Hall of Famer in this section.
All right, Joe, it is now time for our school's financial credit union Game On Athlete of the Week, and I had a chance to catch up with one Ms. Kira McKechnie, the 2 sports star out of Christian Brothers.
One of the area's top 2 sports standouts is Kira McKechnie of Christian Brothers. The 6-foot senior capped off an outstanding season on the hardwood, leading her team to another playoff appearance while taking home Capital League MVP honors. However, the basketball star is a talent on the diamond. During McKechnie's sophomore year, she gave a verbal commitment to play softball for Fresno State. There was just too much to like about the Bulldogs program.
It was very welcoming. I love the coaches. They're super friendly, they're really great. And I know Coach Ford has a lot, she has a lot of potential. She's a great coach. And, once I first got there, Coach Ford just welcomed me right in. She made me feel great. And just the team, they're just awesome too. They're really nice and friendly. And yeah, I just love the whole atmosphere there. It's great.
For McKechnie, she loves to compete, but basketball does help her get into shape for the softball season.
I think it does, definitely. We do a lot of running and conditioning, so that's important, to get me prepared for, high school season. Also to kind of prepare me for college, what that may be like, because that's a lot of running too, even though it's softball, but yeah.
With graduation just around the corner, college only a few months away, McKechnie has some ideas about her major and what she would like to do down the road.
I've put a lot of thought into this recently because I was undeclared, but I possibly want to major in psychology, maybe become a counselor, and then possibly coach, because I want to stay around sports as long as possible.
Kira isn't the only McKechnie athlete to come out of Christian Brothers. Her father Kenny and her uncle Kevin were standouts for the Falcons way back when, which begs the question, is Kira the most talented McKechnie athlete to play for Christian Brothers?
I would say so, yeah. It's pretty tough competition, but I think I'm making my way up there, considering I've played 2 sports and done pretty well in them.
So back to softball, and right now Christian Brothers is in a 4-team race for a Capital League title, and McKechnie thinks her team can make a late charge.
So, with the recent El Camino beating Casa, that's huge for us, to be able to possibly, who knows, take first or what, give us another chance. And, I'm excited to play Casa and El Camino and Vista again, because I know we'll come out stronger than we did last time and hit better and play better all around, because those are teams that we should be able to beat.
Good stuff with Kira McKechnie, great spirit, charisma. We see her doing football games and volleyball games, and she's the one in the front row with all kinds of different mismatched clothes and the painted school colors on his face. Great spirit, and she says she's the best athlete in the McKechnie family. I don't know. I thought Kevin McKechnie, her uncle, Christian Brothers quarterback in the early 90s, was terrific. Kenny, her father, was quite an athlete as well, but we like her pride in her. It's good to have ego.
Hey, Kevin and Kenny, she passed you.
That's right.
All right, good to catch up with Kira, but we've got more in the show. We're going to introduce you to Granite Bay's boys volleyball coach, and we'll wrap up the show.
There's a history you feel when you visit any of the Von Hausen automotive dealerships. You'll sense the quality of Mercedes-Benz, and you'll experience the low-pressure atmosphere that comes from 2 generations of family ownership. Mercedes-Benz of Sacramento, Mercedes-Benz of El Dorado Hills, and Mercedes-Benz of Rockland. 3 great reasons to drive one of the world's best automobiles. Come feel the difference or visit vonhausen.com.
We'd like to thank our sponsors, starting with Save Mart Supermarkets, where fresh comes first. Shop at Save Mart up and down the Central Valley. Schools Financial Credit Union, banking for everyone, value, convenience, and emerging technology. Von Hausen Automotive Group, celebrating 50 years with Mercedes-Benz. Stop dreaming and start driving. Roseville Auto Mall. If you're looking for a used car, go to the Roseville Auto Mall with over 6,000 vehicles to choose from. And Les Schwab Tires. Since 1952, we promise we'll get you more for your money.
And welcome back to the best of high school sports in Northern California. We are the B Prep Show, and we like to introduce you to the good athletes of character, like Kira McKechnie of Christian Brothers, and news and notes, but sometimes the coaches really take the lead on what really makes high school sports unique, and you got to catch up to a mover and shaker of sorts in boys volleyball in Placer County.
Yeah, you say, what about boys volleyball? Who are the teams that are good? Well, Granite Bay has been good. They've won 4 section championships in 6 years, and before the sport became a CIF sanctioned sport in terms of section championships, they had won us the mythical title, so to speak. So they've been on a roll. They've got a great team now. So I had to get out there, and I had to catch up with Coach Bruce Honberger to get his thoughts on the team and the rise of boys volleyball.
No team has been more dominant in boys volleyball in the Sacramento area than the Granite Bay Grizzlies. In the 6 years since the CIF made boys volleyball a section championship sport, Granite Bay has won 4 Division I titles, and this year the Grizzlies are the favorite to do it again. The man leading the charge is head coach Bruce Honberger, and he believes the key to Granite Bay's success is building a program from the bottom up.
We have a freshman program, and so they get a lot more touches on the ball. We're able to have all 15 of our guys playing year-round. So those are some of the reasons why we're able to maintain success throughout the courses of the years. We just try to get a little better at practice every day, and that it just seems to be working. So, there's no real magic formula. We just try to work hard.
Honberger is a 1988 graduate of Oakmont High School, where he learned a love for the game, and years ago, that was something he wanted to take to his students at Granite Bay.
We fell in love with the sport in like 1987, 88. We were the first team to have a program back then and just loved it. And so then I spent the next couple of years playing as much as I could. Anytime I could find a game in a court, we were doing it. And so that's what we're trying to instill here is like anywhere, anytime, go down, play the best to be the best. So, yeah.
As the Grizzlies look to add a 5th section title to its resume next month, Honberger believes this year's team is as good as any that he's had before.
This is actually one of our better teams. We very, very deep team, which is really cool. We have 8 juniors, 7 seniors, and they're all quality players. So the difficulty is getting people on the court, but they're really good. And half of our best games are practice. So when we battle in practice every day, they always get better. But this is a very, very deep team, and we're just great across the board. So I think it's one of our better teams. I think it'll stack up well.
Boys volleyball is big time. There's a lot of guys who get scholarships. They go to the Pac-10 programs or Pepperdine. Those programs win national championships. And you talk about athletes and timing and just dominance. I'm glad that the CIF has recognized it as a sanctioned sport, and it's growing, and more power to them.
Yeah, it's a fun sport to cover, and it's going to continue to grow, kind of like lacrosse, another sport that's grown in this area in the last few years. All right, Joe, you know how we like to honor a couple athletes as we do every week, and we're going to do it once again with our Von Hausen Stars of the Week.
This week's Von Hausen Stars of the Week are Cameron Clark of Jesuit and Morgan Lamb of Elk Grove. Clark, a junior for the Marauders, had a pair of goals in Jesuit's key win over Oak Ridge, but it was Clark's game winner from way out there in the second overtime period that sealed a 10-9 win for the Marauders. As for Lamb, a senior third baseman and Boise State signee, she was a key cog in an undefeated week for the Herd, where Lamb was a combined 13 for 24 with 3 triples and 2 home runs.
A credit union is a not-for-profit member-owned financial institution. Can your bank say that? Demand more from your financial institution. Make the switch to Schools Financial Credit Union for low loan rates, state-of-the-art technology, making accounts accessible anytime, anywhere, and more ATMs than most major banks. Anyone who lives, works, or worships in Sacramento and its surrounding counties is eligible to join. Be part of the credit union difference and bank happily ever after with Schools.
We want to thank our title sponsor, Save Mart Supermarkets. Shop Save Mart up and down the Central Valley.
All right, welcome back to the fourth and final segment of the B Prep Show as we bring you the very best of high school sports in Northern California. It's a great area right here in the Sac Joaquin section and in Sacramento. Everything's going on right now, news and notes, and we got the Character Combine under the leadership of Jason Harper. We've been there before. I speak every year. I'm going to speak again this weekend at Folsom High School about the evils and the joys of social media. Basically, don't be a cowardly idiot on social media. You could make it a good thing. There's going to be some athletes of the year, coaches of the year. We'll talk about them next week as well. But you're going to be out there on the playing fields with a camera. Your playing days are long gone. But
Yeah.
What's on your menu?
Oh, I've got Pioneer Valley Baseball. We've got a big one. First place versus second place. Placer, first place. At second place, Lincoln. I'm going to see some small school baseball. These are two powerhouses. You know, Valley Christian is going to play at Bradshaw Christian. It's going to be a great matchup. Of course, we'll have softball, some soccer. And Joe, I am going to check out my daughter's senior day at Whittier College. It's our final softball game, so I'll be there on Saturday the 25th while you're at the Character Combine. So we'll be going different directions.
I think it's great. And your daughter, Haley, is an Oakmont High School graduate, and she has labored through a tender shoulder and, you know, just navigating through college and all that. You should be very proud. It's great that you're going to be down there for senior day right there. If you're throwing out the first pitch, warm up.
No, but I do have a funny story. You know my wife, Carol. Well, she found out from my daughter. She said, my daughter tells her, goes, hey, when you're out here for senior day, you're supposed to throw a pitch to me. Throw it in my wife. She's not very athletic, so my wife's terrified. So I will have photos of that for next week's show.
Yeah, that might go viral if you put it on video, though. Yeah, for sure.
That could. It's going to be a fun weekend. Again, we love the weather, spring sports, hot and heavy, and we'll continue to check down those teams and see some new ones. All right, folks, if you want to watch this show, you just tune in to Comcast Sportsnet California every Tuesday. Show airs about 4:30. Check your local listings. It re-airs later in the week. But if you miss it during the week, I tell people all the time, you can check it out online starting Thursday nights. And how they do that.
SacB.com, where we have a full menu of good stuff, photo galleries, story links, old shows. Never boring, because high school sports in the Sacramento region, all of California really, it's just terrific.
It's good, and we're down the home stretch. All right, folks, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.